incredible, isn't it?
Amazing thing. Let's speak now to Kyan's father, Mark, and QPR's Director of Football, Les Ferdinand. They're actually at QPR's stadium this morning, which, of course, is named after Kyan. Wow. Morning, both.
Morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Mark, that must have been quite a moment to see your son grown up like that. What was it like for you?
Interview, you know, it doesn't matter what he feels Kyan might have looked like. It's all about what you think. And I suppose in your own mind, you probably, did you have an idea of...
He's been remembered in so many different ways, hasn't he, Mark? And it's such a... I mean, for me, you know, it seems so sort of brilliant and unusual. How important is it that he's part of this, you know, incredibly successful game?
Les Ferdinand as well. Les, lovely to speak to you this morning too. And you know, we speak a lot, don't we, about clubs being so involved in community projects and at the heart of the community and the role that clubs play in that. From your perspective, from your sort of position at QPR, why is it so essential for that to happen, particularly when it comes to Kyan?
I know that Kyan wasn't at the club at the same time as you. And how important is it, though, that you do have this, you know, what is obvious, for, you know, this kind of relationship with your young players and helping kind of look after them, I suppose?
To Mark as well. We heard during the piece we played just before we came to you, Mark, some of the young men who knew Kyan talking about his legacy, talking about the sort of young man he was and the impact he had on them. That must be incredibly encouraging for you to still be able to talk about the next generation, about your son and him still having an impact on those young men.
Given all the things that you said, you know, that decision, the first thing, I don't know when somebody might make a decision, but if a young person is watching this and thinks they might be taking a knife out this morning, what would you say to them?
That's what I would say.
Thank you.
It's really powerful. Mark, thank you. And Les Ferdinand as well. Great to speak to you both this morning.
Thank you
That's
very
Mark
much
Prince, who's
indeed.
Kyan's dad, and Les Ferdinand, who is Director of Football at Queen's Park Rangers.
31 minutes past 7. Let's catch up right now with the news, the travel and the weather, wherever you're watching. Minutes past 7. Let's catch up right now with the news, the travel and the weather, wherever you're watching.
'Hello, good morning. Watching Breakfast with Louise and Dan today.
Let's get you up to date on things that are happening. We've been hearing this morning about the growing concern over the spread of the Indian variant of coronavirus. So what do the latest figures tell us?
Hello, good morning. Watching Breakfast with Louise and Dan today.
Let's get you up to date on things that are happening. We've been hearing this morning about the growing concern over the spread of the Indian variant of coronavirus. So what do the latest figures tell us? The northwest of England has seen a significant rise in cases of the Indian variant over the last fortnight.
Our correspondent Phil McCann is...
England can book their jab as well. Thank you.
More than 50 years after the disappearance of 15-year-old Mary Bastow, police have found what they're calling possible evidence that she may be buried at a cafe linked to the serial killer Fred West.
An excavation of the site in Gloucester will now take place following exploratory work.
Let's speak to Jeffrey. Police haven't told us or confirmed what exactly they have found, but they will start to dig up parts of that cafe linked to the serial killer Fred West. And it's thought that there is enough evidence, they say, for that excavation, a full excavation, to begin. So we'll bring you any further news as we get it.
We will. 7:46. Sally's here, and there's one topic of...
Because one of the one of the top trends on social media yesterday was actually the flake, because apparently there's a shortage of flakes because people are buying ice cream. Now Sally is convinced that it's simply a marketing stunt. Theories about why they're called 99s.
Why are they called 99s?
I like this one. Okay. In the days, obviously, Italians are famous for their ice cream. In the days of the monarchy in Italy, apparently, the king had a specially chosen guard consisting of 99 men. And subsequently, anything that's really special or first class is known as a 99. So that is one of the... That's one of the reasons.
Like that.
There you go.
Should we catch up with the weather? And Carol is out and about. She's got the most wonderful views for us today. She's in the London Eye, and we're having a different view every time. It's just fantastic, Carol. Morning.
Morning.
Carol, thank you.
Enjoying the scenery behind Carol's
I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better day, could we?
Timed it very well, haven't we?
Have you been up there in the pouring rain? I have.
I have, yes. You can't see a thing. Struggling
It's
to
very
see House of
dramatic,
Parliament.
but not the same. So human contact and interaction were part of day-to-day life. Remember that pre-pandemic world? But after months of being isolated from family and friends, there's something many of us will never take for granted again.
As sleepovers, larger social gatherings and hugs are now allowed for those who want to do that. Some long-awaited reunions are taking place. Here's our very own Jane McCubbin.
That's going to get me going.
Does that set you off, Louise? You all right?
No.
It just feels like it's been such a long time, isn't it?
It's been such a long time, hasn't it? Gosh. Anyway, headlines will be coming up in just a moment.
Oh.
That's going to get me going.
Does that set you off, Louise? You all right?
No.
It just feels like it's been such a long time, isn't it?
It's been such a long time, hasn't it? Gosh. Anyway, headlines will be coming up in just a moment.
Oh. Yeah.
Such a long time, hasn't it? Gosh. Anyway, headlines will be coming up.